والهجرة الانتقال من بلد الشرك إلى بلد الإسلام. والهجرة فريضة على هذه الأمة من بلد الشرك إلى بلد الإسلام، وهي باقية إلى أن تقوم الساعة. والدليل قوله تعالى: إن الذين توفاهم الملائكة ظالمي أنفسهم قالوا فيم كنتم قالوا كنا مستضعفين في الأرض قالوا ألم تكن أرض الله واسعة فتهاجروا فيها فأولئك مأواهم جهنم وساءت مصيرا. إلا المستضعفين من الرجال والنساء والولدان لا يستطيعون حيلة ولا يهتدون سبيلا، فأولئك عسى الله أن يعفو عنهم وكان الله عفوا غفورا.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We left Al-Warqa Park and decided to explore Warqa 3. We stopped at this beautiful masjid. It's so nice. SubhanAllah, we prayed in there. This is the men's area. It has like a corridor when you walk in. There's nobody in there now. And then it leads to the back, to the men's prayer area. I thought that the women's prayer area wouldn't be open, but it actually was. It was so beautiful inside. But I wanted to talk about something that I had a conversation with somebody about. It was a sister. It's very interesting. And it's basically about striving no matter where you are, and how some people have the concept that a country can save them, or, you know, I guess maintain their iman. But the reality is that we have to maintain our own iman, of course, by the permission and help of Allah. And a country can't save you, pretty much. There's no such thing as a country in and of itself saving you. A person has to develop self-discipline. And they actually have a library too. That's interesting. I wonder what kind of books are in there. I don't know if y'all can see it right here through this walkway. It's a library, maktaba. So anyway, if you don't develop any self-discipline, then you won't survive. You know, you're going to fall into all sorts of things. But anyways, so the conversation that we had, it was interesting. She said that she lived in Saudi Arabia for years. She's from a Muslim country, interestingly so. And the Muslim country that she's from is not, basically you have to find the religious people. The religious people are in communities in Muslim countries like the one she's from, and they play music, and you know, they party and all, they do all sorts of things. All sorts of things exist in that country. And she was living in Saudi for a long time, and she made a statement that, you know, oh, it was so easy. Of course, everybody wears niqab and abaya, and it was enforced, of course, by the law there. And but she said when she moved here to the UAE, she felt like she was going to lose her iman. She didn't want to lose her iman. So I thought that was interesting. And I said, well, what you need to do is, that means you need to tighten up and review some books of belief to strengthen your iman. She said that she felt like she was going to lose her iman here, or fearing for losing her iman here, because there was openness, right? You know, some of the things that are allowed here in the UAE, you know, as far as non-Muslims are able to do. gotta remember, there are rules for Muslims that are different. Muslims will get in trouble for things that non-Muslims won't get in trouble for, of course. And UAE allows them their space. They have to do what they do in a certain arena with licenses that are involved in that. So I told her that you have to do the things that's going to help strengthen your iman, sister. A country cannot maintain your iman, and what it shows is, for anyone who has this idea or this thought, is that they believe that a country can save them, or it's convenient for them to be in a country that enforces, or there's no temptation that you don't, it's not visibly seen by you, the temptation. So that's a problem. That's a problem. And it's also weird because if you come from a Muslim country where all sorts of corruption goes on, and you don't fear for your iman in those places, you go visit your family, you sit with them and things like that, and there's clubs there, there's gambling there, all sorts of things. But all of a sudden, the UAE, you fear for your iman. It's interesting. Same thing for Muslims who are living in non-Muslim countries. And they are like, well, how come that stuff exists? It's the world. That's why it exists. Every place is not Saudi Arabia. Everyone's all up in arms about Saudi and them allowing music and whatever. But the issue is, there's always been music in Saudi Arabia. There's always been concerts in Saudi Arabia. Arab singers, Christian Arab singers, famous Christian Arab singers have always been invited to the Middle East. But I believe, now I'm getting on the Western part of it, I believe because it doesn't affect us, or we're not a part of that culture, it was no concern of anybody's that Arab superstars were coming here and performing since forever. But as soon as the West starts to televise and advertise and report on Western singers being able to now perform openly, because they were already doing it in private in Saudi Arabia, now it's a big deal. But like I said, I'm not defending music. Of course, I don't listen to music. Music haram. However, it's very interesting, the biases that we have. It's okay if people listen to Arab music as long as it doesn't affect you. But if it's people from your culture that the West holds in high esteem, and now the Muslims are inviting them, that affects you, because I believe it taps into some weaknesses and things that many people haven't dealt with or faced. So now it's a huge issue, and people want to criticize Saudi Arabia, which I think is very, very hypocritical. If you're against music, be against it all the way around the board. And mind your own affairs. Pretty much. You hate evil. Don't indulge in it, just like you don't indulge in it in your own country. Don't go anywhere near a rap concert in Saudi Arabia or in the UAE. Why is any of your concern? Is it any of your concern when those performances goes on in your own country? No, it's not. And you have non-Muslims who are putting it together, or Muslims who are not religious. That's a fact. That's just a fact of life. You have people who don't like religion. Yes, they're Muslim. Maybe Allahu Alam what their affair is relates to the reality of their Islam, but that's on them. That's their business. You hate it with your heart, but can you change it? No, you cannot. You hate it. Cool. But to criticize, and because it is affecting you, because that's the underlying issue. You're affected by it. And people fear for their iman. Well, why? This is some of the arguments. Well, why would I go all the way over there, if they're just going to allow music? That's a cop-out. That's insanity. It makes no sense. Even when I was in Yemen, I saw stands, and Yemen is extremely conservative. I would see stands with the latest artists, the latest singers, Arab singers, and the Yemeni women in full niqab lined up to buy it. Of course, they were teenagers, young people, lined up to buy these songs. So you're going to have to face whatever you haven't faced before. Don't be biased. A country can't save you. Okay? There's no place where you can run to. It's just like, okay, yeah, my man is safe now. No, you have to fight until you die. You have to ward off evil. You have to reject things in your heart, in your mind, things that you see, things that you hear that are haram until you die. And there's no country that's going to accommodate you and make sure you don't hear, see, smell anything that you're not supposed to. And then we hide behind it and say, see, this doesn't make any sense. You know, I have to, why am I even in a Muslim country then? I mean, you can really count endlessly on why you're in a Muslim country or what's the benefit of being in a Muslim country. Okay, so it's just something I was thinking about, and I'm giving you something to think about as well. We gotta get realistic. You don't have to accept something just because you acknowledge that it exists. You can understand things without accepting it. We have intellect, you know. We don't work on pure logic when judging things. No. However, logic does play a part. You have to weigh things. You have to be just in your judgment. You know, you can't duck your head under the sand, and it's not Jannah. It's just reality. It's not Jannah. You know, you can't be, in a Muslim country, I can't let my children outside, subhanAllah. There's women walking around, they don't have anything on. Okay, don't go in those areas where there are naked women. Stay away. You know, which for the most part, that's what people do. You know, when it comes to Dubai. But some things you just can't help. Lower your gaze, turn around. That's for women too. Don't look at them. I don't. And I try not to be in areas where I want to see a lot of things that I'm displeased with. But if the Emiratis and the Saudis, they're coping with it, they're not indulging in these things, why can't we as Westerners take the same position? Why? We can. It's not all or nothing. What you're going to see over here is not what you're going to experience in the States or in Canada or in the UK. Okay? So, like I said, we mind our own affairs. We don't have anything to do with concerts. We don't need to go anywhere near them to know they exist. Okay, just like we know they exist in our own countries, and we don't pay them any attention. Do the same thing here. It's just that I believe we get affected when the non-Muslims report on what goes on here, and we indirectly get affected, you know, negatively by knowing that, you know, the Muslims, you know, this kind of content is making Muslims look bad, and our religion is pure. So, you know, if they're in the Muslim lands are supposed to be pure. So why is this happening on? And it makes you look at the Muslim lands some kind of way. But the reality is that human beings are going to do what they're going to do. And then throughout time, throughout the history, if you read Imam al-Dhahabi's book, Al-Kaba'ir, if you read, of course, Imam Ahmed, anything from Imam Ahmed, you read anything from history, from the Salaf, there was always alcohol present in the Muslim lands. There was always something going on that was wrong. People, you know, robbers, thieves, all sorts of things happening. Okay? To the point that some of the Salaf, they thought that Yom Qiyamah was close. They said, okay, yes, this is the hour is near. They thought it was really close. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Okay? So, you have to take account of yourself and strive no matter what country you're in, no matter what the environment is. And for the most part, alhamdulillah, the Muslim countries accommodate your religion. In the West, they don't accommodate your religion. You have to fight in order to establish religion. Literally, you have to fight. You have to shun so much. You have to make sure you're rejecting all the time. Your mind is always on reject mode. Your mind and your heart is on reject mode. You don't have to do that here. They're not calling you to evil. Yeah, evil exists, but I mean that's everywhere on the globe. It's not a place where you're gonna go on the globe, except that wherever there's people, there's gonna be evil. Okay, you're gonna have people who do things that are forbidden. That's the dunya. That's what it is. So, that's all I wanted to say. Something to think about. Hopefully that'll put some people's hearts at ease and help you sort some things out. And inshallah, we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, Hijrah mandates sacrifice. Ma'as salama.